Hi, this is Ayana Gregory, and you are watching In the Community.
In the community.
This book is a very important part of the African American experience. Now we must remember that, in all honesty, slavery was rampant in the United States at that time, and it was very ingrained. So to have free people of African descent roaming the countryside was not welcome by most of the slave masters. So that's why they got together and planned that they have to send these people out of America. They have to send them to a place far from the United States, and they came up with a decision that they have to go back to Africa.
Was this before the emancipation?
This was long before the emancipation. In fact, by the Revolutionary War, they had started talking about what to do with freed African slaves, because they considered the increase in number of these free slaves was becoming a challenge to the population, to the white population that existed at that time, because these free slaves were getting to be 1/5 of the American population.
You know, we hear a lot of stories about similar to Marcus Garvey going back to Africa. Can you explain a little bit more about the Marcus Garvey trade and going back to Africa? How does this coincide with the Black Mayflower?
The Black Mayflower took place long before Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was after emancipation, and Marcus Garvey was sitting on the shoulders of those who came before him, and he felt that the United States was not a place for the black man. So he was planning for all blacks to return to Africa. And he was very successful to a lot of extent, although his mission was undermined by a game of economics that they played on him, and it came to a halt. But African Americans continued to immigrate to Liberia until 1980. A lot of Americans don't know this, but we had immigration to Liberia until 1980, from the 1820s to 1980. Liberia is an interesting story, and it's people should study the history of Liberia. Africans should study the history of Liberia, as well as African Americans, because these free slaves, they went back to Africa, and the slave masters thought so low, had such a low opinion of the black man, that they never expected these free slaves to be successful in Africa. And very interestingly, Liberia was a success story. These people went back and they built a nation, and in fact they owned their own ships. They had a very prosperous agriculture program, and Americans were surprised that these people could be that successful.
Where did the story come from that black people wasn't welcome there? Was that brought on by people who didn't want us to leave America?
By the time Garvey came along, there was this school of thought that these people are going back and they're being so successful, so they did not want to portray, in the United States, they didn't want to portray the black man as somebody who can be successful in anything. So anytime there is something to do with success, it was undermined. Liberia's success was undermined, and the Garvey Back to Africa movement was undermined. And there was a psychological game going between the Africans and the African Americans in what has been known for a long time. To conquer a group of people, the easiest way to conquer a group of people is to divide and rule.
Today, we have a black man running for president of the United States. He should see to become president of the United States. What do you think kind of waves that will send around the world?
Americans are very impressive. I think Americans, we must we must commend the Americans, because the image of America today in the world is very poor, and the idea that so many Americans, blacks as well as whites, as well as Asians, can support a black man for the presidency of the most powerful country in the world is turning to a lot of people all over the world. It is a revolution in the making, because it is reshaping the way people view America as this racist country that will always keep the black man down. Yeah, and it's having a great impact all over the world. And really, even I am living in America as an American today, and I am very surprised that so many whites would support a black man for president. It's very impressive, and it shows a different side of America, which is very positive.
Speak a little bit about your meetup group, and what position does you hold in the meetup group, and how important it is for people to be part of a meetup group?
Well, our meetup groups are springing up all over the world, and it is a very good thing, because people with similar ideas can come together, form a meetup group, similar ideas, similar interests, and they can support each other on different projects. Some people just meet for fun, some people meet to get better ideas of what they're working on from their counterparts. And I organize this meetup group. I am the organizer for the Washington Film Meetup Group, because I was approached by Golden 13, I think her name was. At that time, she was a producer at public television station in Rochester, New York. And when my book came out, I was interviewed, and I never met her because she was behind the scene. And later on, she contacted me about my book after reading the book, and she said to me, that book would make a very, very good movie. And she said, why don't you do a treatment on the book and get somebody to do a screenplay? So, during that time, I had other things going on in my life. I had some personal things going on in my life, had a divorce and so on, and I never got to it. And then I think she retired. So others have been telling me that, oh, the book would make a good movie. So I thought that, well, to have the motivation, I should form a meetup group, and meeting people with similar interests might give them the motivation to go on ahead and do the treatment, and maybe collaborate with other people to do the screenplay and then pitch it for a movie. We're trying to work on the treatment and also on the screenplay for the Black Mayflower. But we do need funding, so we'll be looking for funding seeing this book, which is a very, very important. Those of us or those people who be interested in seeing this on the big screen, to them to support us financially, or at least invest in this project, because we do believe that this project will be successful. And also go to blackmayflower.com to purchase a book, or you can go to amazon.com to purchase a book. And we have a non-profit organization, which is Reffell.org. So if you go to Reffell.org, you will see a portion there that talks about the digital literacy, which talks about the digital literacy, which talks about our film meetup, the Washington Film Meetup Group, and there we are also raising money for this project, getting the Black Mayflower on film.
Hi, this is Ayana Gregory, and you are watching In the Community.